And we are recording.
I'm ready.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to do
Got my
this.
coffee. Oh, wait, we're not going to shoot the shit for a little bit?
You can shoot the shit. It looked like you were just ready to go. You look like, you got your weird camo on. That
No, it's the
blends in.
Hawaiian shirt.
I don't know. It looks like you're about to go to the Trump rally and meet some Proud Boys.
No, no way. Let me tell you, I got my coffee and my Argyle socks. Yo, up on my lunch in a Hello Kitty lunchbox. I'm feeling good today.
I got some coffee too.
I've been rapping all day. I'm like, let me tell you, I could have been somebody.
Yeah, you could have. Instead, you're stuck with me.
Yeah. My therapist's not going to unpack that later this afternoon.
Oh, shit. Anyways, now that I'm depressed. And now we're going to do this in 3, 2, 1.
What are you doing?
Testes in my mouth.
Get on the ground, you fucking pledge!
Ew.
Welcome to the greatest podcast experience of your life. This is the FratChat Podcast.
All young men like 3 things. Food, booze, pussy.
Featuring Carlos Garcia and Chris Moore.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasting time. It's the FratChat Podcast. I'm Carlos Garcia with Chris CMO Moore. How's it going, Mr. Moore?
I'm good. I'm tired. A lot of performing last night, but I think that we had a really fun show.
Yeah, hosting back-to-back shows. You were basically co-producing the second one, or producing it since the producer was away. You're welcome to the big leagues, buddy.
You know what though? I have to say, so our friend Dan Frank, a very talented comedian, go follow him on social media. His is at on Instagram, I think is not Anne Frank. And even though I was hosting it and like chatting with them, like he kept checking in, like, and then he even was like, I hope I'm not being annoying. I'm like, no, you are a producer that cares about your show, and this is great.
That's good.
But
That's good.
but he's an all-star. As are you. So I was like, I don't mind hosting for producers to have it together. I've hosted other shows where like they don't even like include me on the poster. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
It's
And they're like, are you bringing anyone? Well, no one knows I'm there because you didn't put my picture up there. You could just put a little picture in the corner, hosted by this guy,
Totally. I don't host as often as you do, obviously. But when I do host, I'm super judicious about who show. Like I actually just saw someone posted like on their story, like, hey, anyone interested in hosting my show while I'm away? And I was like, oh, I've done that show. That shit is so disorganized. Like I'm not gonna put myself through that. I'll perform on the show where all I have to do is go up when my time comes, but watch the fucking spiral happen and take the stage time. But no way, dude. There are some shows out there where it's just you don't know what's going on, and then the lineups are crazy. Everything's changing, so like, and you have no control. All you can do is just kind of roll with it. So it's not worth the stress sometimes.
Do you remember when I used to produce a show? It's very short lived in Brooklyn. It's called Heart Bar.
Yes.
And it's me and 3 other female comics, who are all
Thanks for all the
lovely.
bookings, by the way.
Huh?
Thanks for all the bookings, by the way.
Well, for what it's worth, it didn't last.
Oh,
It's
story
didn't
of
last.
life. Simo.
Yeah. So you were on the list of people to get up there, but it didn't last. So
It's not easy, dude. It sucks.
so the first show when we got there, I got there like a couple days before just to check out the space, as we all do. And I was like, this lighting sucks. So maybe it's fun for like a band, but like
Right.
you couldn't see facial expressions. So I said, you know what? I have professional lighting. I'm gonna bring. They told me I could lock it up in this closet. So I locked it in the closet, and then on showtime, it was gone. I was like, how does someone steal something that's locked up? And it was like good lighting. I was like, what the fuck? like all the time. It was like so stupid working at this place. And I was so frustrated. And then one time the lights came back, but it was broken. I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, it is
Bad comic
frustrating.
clubs will ruin a show, or not necessarily comic, but whatever space. If you have a bad event space, bad club, bad bookers, bad, like the previous show I hosted or produced for a very long time was fantastic, but the club liked to fuck around, and it's the reason why I couldn't do it anymore. Eventually, it was like it felt like I was working to swim upstream against someone who was actively like dragging me down with an anchor on top of it. And it's like, sell tickets, but we're going to fuck you over in every way possible up until the day of the show. But yeah, sell tickets. It's like, no, man. So like having a good club, having a good space and a good relationship is just as important. And it's that hidden side that
Well,
a lot of people don't see on top of the comics, you know, being comics. I need
if
to
I'm
go
gonna,
early, but I'm also going to run 20 minutes late. But can I
yeah.
go first?
Oh my gosh, all the time. Well, if I'm gonna produce a show, if I'm gonna sign up for it, I have a couple like rules. And one of my rules that you follow is that the um the lineup has to be diverse. Um, so I don't want to hear a bunch of white guys talk about their girlfriends all night, you know.
Yeah, it's annoying.
So it has to be diverse, and I like there to be a drink special, and I want tickets to be free. Or if they buy a ticket, there should be like a drink associated with it. And I'm referring to specifically like bar shows. It's not a
Yeah,
comedy club; it's just a bar show. Don't act like you're a comedy club by selling tickets that are expensive with no perks. You know what I mean? And so, like,
totally.
I remember I did this show and we had free tickets and the bars were packed and made a lot of money. And then they said, you know what, we want to sell tickets now. They got greedy, so that limited the people that came. And then there's no drink sales, and then they blamed us
Right.
for it. Like, what do you think? You're not. You're just a local bar, bro.
No one's going to pay to see. Yeah, exactly. At a local bar, especially like you're not even designated for this space. So like, why the fuck? Yeah, no, it's tough to have paid bar shows and people don't get it. People do get greedy. There are some that can do it, don't get me wrong. But it does take years to build a following. You gotta be patient. You gotta again have a good relationship with the bar for the bar to be patient, that you need to grow this shit and they need to help promote. Because there was like a fun little bar show here in Hoboken where tickets were like $10, but I'm pretty sure they included a drink.
That's okay by
So
me.
that's great, like it's you got it already, and then it gets everybody having a drink under them because you literally sit down, they give you a little ticket, you go to the bartender, you get whatever you want, and then you have a drink and you relax, and then people would drink more, and it was cool because it was like this bar is divided into two rooms, so the show would take the one room on the left. But the bar could continue doing the regular business on the right. So if like the football game's on or whatever, you could, didn't interrupt things. So it was well done. But for the most part, unless you have a sweet setup and a deal like that, just gotta do free, man. Like bar, like the point is to get people to come to the fucking bar to patronize, buy your fucking overpriced drinks and food. That's where the money is, but people they don't think, man. But anyway,
They don't understand. Anyways,
parents just don't understand.
it's a
It
good
is now.
song.
Yes, it is time to hear from you guys. Because it's time for emails from the listeners. And I'm not gonna lie, today I just didn't feel like reading that much, so I picked a shorter one too. And I have to give it to you. It does make this a lot easier.
Yeah. And then anytime there's less to read, I'm like, bingo.
Now I get it. I've seen the light. But anyways, I'll start with this one. I'll start this week. I got Tom from LA. I wonder if it's Tom Short, Vanderpump Rules.
Tom Sandoval.
Or maybe Tom Sandoval, because there's only two Toms in LA. Everybody knows that. It's either Schwartz or Sandoval. But
Correct.
anyways, he goes, "Hey, frat chat, I need advice. I want to break up with my girlfriends." A great one for today's topic. But there's no cheating or huge drama. I just don't think we work as a couple anymore. The problem is, I genuinely still care about her and would actually like to stay friends if possible. is there a funny or lighthearted way to do it without sounding like a complete asshole? I'm trying to avoid sounding too cliche with the whole "it's not you, it's me" speech, but I also don't want to sound cold or robotic about it either. Any advice would help. Tom from LA. I'm convinced this is one of those 2 times because who the fuck else would ask such a question? Really? A funny way to break up with someone? What? Knock knock. Who's there? We need to. We need to who? We need to see other people. See ya. Like what?
Did I ever tell you that I saw Tom Sandoval at a karaoke place in Austin?
Really? How was that? Was
Everyone
it
was like, "That's Tom." I was like, "That's Tom Sandoval," and like he's a musician, and I was like, "Is he?" Okay, like you can sing "Sweet Caroline" decently well.
That's funny.
Like
I
whatever.
have to say, he did do a thing on whatchamacallit, America's Got Talent, and he got passed to the next round, which was pretty good. It was the song
Take on me or something.
Take on me, take on me. And when it came time for him to do the he got there. And I was like, wow, good
He
for
got
you.
there. I just think that his I think he has an inflated sense of self.
Oh, of course he does.
And I think that what I see in his future is potentially wedding gigs, and that's the potential. That's gonna be the height of it.
If he does celebrity weddings, I'll make some good money just off that.
I would invest in
How
that.
much? Just the band that Julie and I have to hire for our wedding was like a not a super expensive one at all because our budget, and yeah, shit is expensive. So, I mean, and it's travel and you want talented people and shit, and it's a band, so they divvy them up amongst themselves. But
why not have Jeff's band play?
I thought about it, but I didn't want to have to make him work on my wedding. Like if he wants to drink or whatever, like because there's gonna be a bunch of people that he knows, so
that's true.
It's like then you're on, and then you have to like take it easy. And it's like I want him to have fun at my wedding too. So that's the only reason why I didn't ask him because I thought about it. But yeah, no, I want everybody at my wedding to have an off night, like just good times. But anyways, Tom. We got distracted there by the Tom-Toms. No, dude, there was not a fucking funny or lighthearted way to break up with someone. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I feel like are you like what? Were you hit with a rock before you sent this email? Like, what the fuck kind of a question is that? If you want to break up with someone, you just got to do it like a band-aid. There's no easy way to do it. There's no fucking great way to do it. The whole I want to be friends with you is bullshit. It never fucking works. One person's always pressed at the end anyways. No one likes being dumped. The only people who would be happy is if she is also done with you and she just doesn't want to break up with you. And then she can be like, oh yeah, I'm so sad. But then she's happy. So I don't know how happy or unhappy she is with a relationship, but just fucking get it over with. Try to be nice. Don't be a dumbass and get her like flowers to break up with her. That's stupid. Just get it over with. Do it somewhere public. Don't be a dick about it, and be quick. Don't talk too much. Just do it.
I think if they live together and they've been together for a very long time, this is gonna be a tough one. You just got to be honest and be like, I feel like we're just roommates. I feel like we're roommates, and I would assume that you agree with this, and it's hard to say, but I think that one of us has to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And I just hope that she's not like head over heels for him, and he's just got a case of the ick. Like that's sad.
Yeah, I mean that does happen. Unfortunately, you can get the ick. I've had the ick. I'm sure I've given someone the ick. In my relationships, it just happens.
Are you referring to chlamydia or syphilis or things like that, or you're referring to like the I'm over it?
Oh no, it's what I call the clap. But
the clap. I've had the ick in the back of my throat. No, no. So I think that if she is like, so Tom from LA, if she's like, I want to have a litter of kids with you, and I want to move in this area of LA and you're like, yeah, babe, that sounds great, then like you are encouraging like a very big problem. So like you have to stop promising things in the future if you are planning on having a tough conversation. You know what I mean?
Totally. And the thing is, if this is how you feel and you actually are done, the longer you wait, the worse it is.
Yeah.
Especially if she does like you a lot and wants to see a future with you. It's the more time you're taking away from this person, essentially. Every day fucking counts. Every day you can meet your soulmate. So if you're done with it, man, just move on. Just do it quick. Get your affairs in order. If you guys live together, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do there. That sounds like a lot of baggage, but maybe start looking at apartments. I don't know. But you want to be ready to go. And you also don't, if you live together, you also don't want to fuck over this person financially, where all of a sudden it's like, oh, you need a roommate now, or you got to go apartment hunting, or whatever the fuck you guys decides to do. So you might have to give them like a month's rent or something just to not be a dick. It's roommate responsibilities, you know? But yeah, you just got to do it. There's no shortcuts with tough conversations. That's one thing I've learned. You get one chance to leave that final impression and to make that breakup. So if you want this person to not resent you and hate you, and you want to eventually maybe consider being friends in the future, then you want to just be as straightforward and not as holish as you can and just get it over with. So but no, don't fuck it. If you crack a joke, dude, we will find you and
That's
smack
horrible.
fucking. Anywho,
you're like, everyone take one step forward if you're in a happy relationship with me. Wait, nope, no. Not too fast. See what I did there? See what I did?
I'm breaking up with you. That's what I'm doing. There we go. Okay.
Wait, let's try it one more time. Okay, let's see if you understood, my drift. Take a step forward. There you go. You're not moving. Okay, great.
Here's another one. Here's another reservation for one, because it's just for me. That's it. You're not. You're done. See ya. Bye. Carlos Uber for one. That's me going home. See ya. Yeah, no, man. Come on, Tom. You can do better than
that. Like, let's say his girlfriend's name is like Susie. Susie, not only am I gonna present a potential problem, but I have a potential solution. A slew of solutions. I created a Tinder account for you, and all these guys are interested in like blowing your back out.
And I've been saying some really dirty things to them too, like the dirtiest. Like they're ready to go. I said that I will deep throat the, play with the shaft, all kinds. These guys are prime, ready to go for you to move on. So, how about it? Are you into anal though? Kind of made some promises.
All right, Tom. This is what not to do, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
All right. So for my email, the guy signed it incredibly desperate from NYC, but his email had Drew in the name.
Oh, that sounds
now I think of it, maybe he wanted to be anonymous. There's a lot of Drews at NYC. There's a lot of Drews at NYC.
There's a lot of Drew222s at gmail.com.
Yeah.
So many of them. They work for Fox News. So many of them.
Yeah.
No, that we don't know what Fox News drew. So don't sue us, Fox News. Anywho, yeah, what you got, Mr. Mo? What does Drew Anonymous say?
You know what? Can I say, speaking of Fox News, I was going to say last night that nothing screams traditional values like screaming at Fox News wearing pajama jeans. But then I was like, I don't know if people will get that. Have you ever heard that? Like some of my cousins wear jeans, but they're pajama materials. And they're not actually jeans. They look like jeans with like pockets, but they're just pajamas. Have you seen that?
I have seen those, and I'm not gonna lie, as much as I want to make fun of it, it does sound pretty comfortable.
I think it's so white trash, because white trash loves to wear leggings and like pajama pants as like real pants.
Well, it's usually a lot of there's two body types in the white trash. There's either hefty boy, or there's like stick boy. There's either, like they're either supremely overweight or they're like severely underweight. There's no like in the middle white trash ideal physique for some reason. So especially the big guys over there, they can't fucking find jeans that fit for the last 23 years. So they got to do something. They still want to wear jeans because if they think that makes them look manly. But so, what can they fit into? Pajama jeans. Same thing with the ladies.
I think that if it's a garment that you would typically sleep in, it's inappropriate to run errands in said garment.
Well, it depends what errands you're running. Like if you're going to the grocery store, I don't give a shit what I'm wearing. If you're going to the post office, but I don't give a shit what I'm wearing. But if I'm going to like
The bank.
court, I wouldn't wear, or the bank even maybe. If I'm gonna like talk to someone at the bank, if I'm going to the ATM, I don't give a shit. But if I'm like, I want them to believe I'm me. Yeah. But like to like travel, I would wear that on an airplane. Fuck yeah.
Someone the other day was on a jog and then just happened to come into the shop and wanted the glasses serviced. And I told him, you got to come back with a shirt on, sir. Like we can't be shirtless in the shop. This is the doctor's office. He's like, Are you serious? He's like, it's 90 degrees outside. Yeah, I'm serious. He's like, seriously? Yes, get out. Like
Wait,
you have
no
to
shirt, no shoes, no entry, bitch.
Oh my gosh, like, can you imagine if my boss looked in camera and saw that I was talking to someone with no shirt on? They'd be like, Chris, why are you engaging with this? Like, get him out. You know what I mean?
Weird.
Anyway, so this is what um Drew, who's not Drew, said from NYC. He
Totally
said,
not Drew.
Totally not Drew. Not Drew. Dear Frat Chat, please help.
Oh.
My parents are visiting, and my girlfriend went behind my back and invited them to her improv show.
Oh no, why?
This is so funny. He wrote, I really want them to like her, but if they're the only audience members in the crowd and they have to sit through what I sit through every week, they're not going to like her. How do I fix this?
Yeah. Wow. Maybe call a bomb threat to the building. I don't fucking know. You got to get that show canceled, man.
That's funny. That's funny. That's where my mind went. Like, you gotta call in a bomb threat.
Right. You gotta cut the fucking electric cables outside. Get the power turned off or something. Like delay their flights so they have to come the next day. There are ways to make this happen, dude. You're just not thinking big enough.
I would find out who's flying the plane, and I would put eye drops in his soda. You know what I mean? Like, get the flight crew diarrhea.
Diarrhea will save lives. There are few worse things in life than bad improv shows, let me tell you. And as much as I would always want to be supportive of my friends in the arts, because I have friends in all kinds of friends who sing, I have friends who act, obviously a lot of comedians. We have friends in all facets of entertainment. There are two that I just cannot ever look at them and be like, oh, that's awesome. And it's improv and mime. Those are just the lowest forms. Because good improv can be good. Like that show, Whose Line Is It Anyways, was fucking amazing. And great improv troops are fantastic. Put shitty improv in one of these like shitty venues that are usually like a bar basement, like you described for me, and it's like three people, and it's always someone's girlfriend who's there, and then the rest of the audience is the opening troupe that's opening for the crew that you're there to see.
Correct.
No, dude.
You better tell your girlfriend the zip zack zup up her ass and then don't do that again. I think if it was me, so if she went behind your back, Drew, who's not Drew, if she went behind your back and made these plans, you should go behind her back and make plans that conflict with this. So I would make reservations. I would invest in Broadway tickets, anything that's the same time, and be like, oh my God, babe, I wish you had told me. I purchased this for them, and had I known, I wouldn't have done. I'm so sorry. We'll have to catch the next show.
It's like we got reservations at Peter Luger's, and I'm sorry. It's hard to book there. It's hard to book there. There's only a couple in the country. Yeah. No, totally. damn, and that's desperate. That's really desperate. I wonder if she produces it or makes any money from it or anything. But ugh, like Julie has brought family and some friends to the shows I produce, but I have good comics. Great shows that they have been like, oh my god, this is awesome. I'm glad we came. Again, bad improv. Ugh, ugh,
I think
ugh.
that you could also be like, something really traumatic happened to my my dad at an improv show, and he's just not going to go. I'm sorry, it's too triggering. Or, oh my god, does that facility have a revolving door? Did you know that my grandfather lost a limb in a revolving
That's
door? My
right.
dad will never walk in there. I'm so sorry, but please understand, it's not you.
My father loved improv until one day he was raped viciously at an improv show. he just thought it was a part of the show, so he just kept saying yes, yes, and 13 stitches in his anus later, he couldn't yes and anymore.
I'm assuming that your girlfriend's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much says it himself there. If they have to sit through what I have to sit through, and again, like, it makes me feel bad to say, but if someone's like really bad and they've been doing it for a while, sometimes as a partner, it might be up to you to have that tough conversation. Be like, maybe improv's not like
I
maybe
agree.
stand up, like try acting, try voiceover work, try anything that actually pays better and people like more, and you don't have to suck like this, you know.
I mean, I don't want to mention any names, but we have friends that are comics, and like, you ever have like a friend and be like, "Man, I was a little off tonight," and you're thinking to yourself, "When are you on?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Have you had a good set ever? Were other people there? Can you prove
That's
it?"
so funny. It's so
You know what I
true.
mean?
I will
Oh,
say there's a couple of comics that I don't know what it is that I'm jinxed with, where whenever I perform on shows that these people are in, I bomb every fucking time. And I can be on a streak where like I'm killing it, and then I fucking see this person, and I'm like, God damn it! I know it's gonna fucking be an eat shit night, and it is, always is. I don't know why, but yeah, it's weird. So hopefully someone doesn't think that about me. It's like, I've never seen you on in my life, dude.
well, speaking of yes, and I think that I think I'm a pretty good host in the sense that I think I talk people up. So I feel like I deliver them to a crowd that's eager to hear what they have to offer. I may not even know the person that well, but like, I'll be like, we're very lucky to have this very talented client, this very talented performer. Like, if I see that they just came, like last night at this other show that I hosted, this guy said, I just flew back from London. I was like, so do you have anything you want me to pitch? He's like, well, I don't really have anything coming up. I said, that's okay. I'm gonna call you international sensation and just roll with it, right? Um, and then when I do that and they get on stage and they're like, well, not really. I mean, like,
course
just go with
not.
it. Just
No,
and it from improv. It's
I
yes and
know.
yes.
Totally. Like, it lets the audience think you're fucking great, and then they're like more inclined to laugh at your shit too. So, like a lot of like sometimes audience members are just trained. They hear someone's TV credit and they will laugh at everything they fucking say, even if it's awful.
Totally. Or I might say this next comic performs all over the city, very prolific, super talented. And then they get on stage and they're like, I mean, like, I haven't really been doing this for a while. This is my first time doing stand up in a long time. It makes me look like a jackass.
It
I'm
looks,
trying to
yeah,
do you a favor and you just made me look like a liar. I just
trying to
gotta
build
stop
up
lying, I
a
guess.
show.
I should just be like, yo, I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah.
I by the looks of him, I think he probably has a hacky sack and likes to skateboard. So enjoy. I should just keep it real.
You will see him at an open mic at 2 p.m. in the afternoon because he's unemployed. Coming up to the
Yeah.
stage, he recently moved in with his mom. Give it up for Dave.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, just to sum things up, Drew from, I'm sorry, not Drew, whatever your name is, incredibly desperate from NYC.
that's right.
You're gonna have to break into this improv place or this bar, wherever it is, and like break the pipes in the basement, flood that joint, whatever you gotta do. But your parents cannot sit through that performance. That cannot
That's right.
happen. You gotta
That's
buck
right.
up and have a tough conversation.
That's right. Anywho.
Anywho,
Man.
what's in the news today?
Oh, yeah, it is time for the news.
Dun, dun.
Yeah. I like the salute. America.
America. I told everyone happy belated Memorial Day yesterday, and I was like, America. And I couldn't keep a straight face. No one could keep a straight face. I was like, I don't think that Europeans like Americans very much. And everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah.
America's over America. Something's got
Everybody.
to change. Anyway,
And these
what you got?
news will not help because
Yeah.
if any of you don't know, there has been a bit of a situation, a brewing down here in New Jersey with an ICE facility called Delaney Hall. So I'm going to explain a little bit. Delaney Hall is a privately run ICE detention facility operated by GEO Group. And protests exploded out there after detainees reportedly began a hunger and labor strike over conditions inside the center. Detainees and advocates say people were protesting spoiled food, lack of medical care, poor ventilation, delayed immigration hearings, and being forced to work for extremely low pay.
Slavery. It's horrible.
Right. Concentration camps, literally fucking camps.
Oh my God.
Some reports claim between 300 and 400 detainees joined the strike.
Wow. That's a lot.
As demonstrations grew outside the facility, tensions escalated between protesters and ICE agents, and multiple videos and eyewitness accounts showed federal agents using pepper spray, batons, and so-called pepper balls against crowds outside the building, which fucking hurt. Protesters and lawmakers described many of the demonstrations as peaceful before clashes began. Now, one of the biggest moments came when U.S. Senator Andy Kim said he was pepper sprayed by federal agents who were trying to calm tensions and oversee the situation outside the facility. According to reports, Kim had been visiting the detention center alongside other New Jersey officials when ICE agents moved in to disperse protesters. Meanwhile, conservative media, especially Fox News, heavily framed the protests as violent anti-ICE riots, repeatedly airing footage of clashes and mass protesters, while Trump administration's officials accused demonstrators of attacking agents and being paid agitators, of course. Critics argued the coverage inflamed tensions and focused more on confrontation than the detainees' complaints about the conditions inside the facility. Because, of course, that's what Fox News does. Now, the Department of Homeland Security has, of course, denied claims of inhumane conditions and even denied that a major hunger strike was happening, despite multiple detainees, advocates, and Democrat lawmakers saying otherwise because, of course, it's fucking happening in plain sight. So it just continues the streak of the administration telling you, oh, no, we didn't. No, you didn't see this. No, what? You're crazy, man. You're anti-American as fuck. What? Do you care more about these foreigners? Like, what? They're criminals, man. What? Proof? No. You need proof? That's not American, bro. What? Come on, man.
I'll be honest, I didn't know who Andy Kim was because when I think of senators in New Jersey, I just think Cory Booker.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So, do what?
He's the most popular.
Yeah, but can I be honest? When you're taking like APAC money and you can't denounce what's happening overseas and you feel obligated to be like, I support Israel, knowing that like the funds are going to like a lot of bad things. I'm like, come on, dude. You're whipped.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cory Booker, do better. So I think so. Andy Kim is looks like a pretty progressive Democrat. So he was a representative, and then became senator in 2024. His political position seemed pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's there trying to help. He's there doing his job. I mean, this is like the thing that people don't realize. Like, this is all happening in like his area. That is literally what he's in charge of doing. And and he was there to de-escalate the situation when, again, ICE fired first, which is police and law enforcement like that. The number one thing that they're trained to do is de-escalate situations like this, not fucking inflame the flames and fucking make it worse. And this is what consistently ICE does. They did it in Minneapolis. They did it in LA. They're doing it here. As soon as like the peaceful protesters come, they start fucking making either crowd them or start pushing them and literally start escalating the violence until they pull out the guns. They pull out the pepper spray. They pull out the plastic bullets. They shoot someone. Like it's like clear that what they're being trained on to do is to escalate instead of de-escalate, or they're, like it's been shown that they're not being trained on shit. And so you have these new guys working on something like de-escalation, which is not easy. It takes a long time to be good at that, and failing miserably. So I'm sure it's a little two-pronged, little column A, a little column B in the situation, but it's a fucking mess, man.
I think that if you're not able to de-escalate in a position of that nature, then my assumption is that you probably have low emotional intelligence. So I'm like, what is the vetting process when you like employ these ICE agents?
Yeah, the
Like,
vetting
are you
process
looking
is
at the
done.
bottom of the barrel? Like,
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
They're just looking, it's all these morons who are fucking trying to take that money and that bonus, and they're literally taking anyone. Like you see these fat ICE agents running around who are in worst shapes ever. Like
horrible.
They're taking anyone. So
they're like, I couldn't get into police academy, but I can get more money for half the training if I join ICE. That's what I think that they think.
Literally 1,000%. But
It's
anyway.
really horrible, and I would feel better if there were documented situations of ICE agents getting their ass handed to them. But the guy who shot the gentleman in cold blood in Minneapolis, I think is back on the streets patrolling.
Yeah, I will say, in Minneapolis, some ICE agents have gotten arrested now for some of the things they've done. So it just takes a long time because this is state law versus federal law and all this shit. So there are layers to how much federal immunity they get versus state immunity and all this bullshit. So there's a lot of red tape to go across. So I am hoping that we will see more of that justice. But yeah, I have seen a few arrest stories now on ICE agents. So we'll keep an eye on that and we'll report on it as it comes. But now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for
Not the
Drag Queens.
Because we got another great story here. And shout out again to Right Wing Watch on Instagram for originally sharing this story and keeping the people updated on that medium. So this is not another shocker story because, as we know, it's coming from inside the house. So another self-proclaimed alpha male MAGA influence has been arrested after investigators allegedly found child sexual abuse material on his electronic devices. Because of course they did, exactly. 34-year-old Joshua Lee Hefner, and if you look at this guy, you will have to pay really hard money to convince me that he is 34 years old. Because he looks like absolute shit. I'm going to actually send him to you right now. You can see what he looks like. Tell me if he looks 34. I just sent it to you
via text.
Yes.
This is the TikTok reel.
Yep, that guy.
That is an old man. That is not a 34-year-old.
Right, that guy looks like he's like 54 at least. And he uses like an old man face filter, but when the filter comes off, you can still see it. He looks old as shit. So I guess that's what being a fucking diddler makes your aging look like. But yes, 34 allegedly year old Joshua Lee Hefner, a California TikTok influencer with reportedly over 500,000 followers who regularly posted pro-Trump content and MAGA merchandise video, was taken into custody following an investigation by the Madera County Sheriff's Office. According to authorities, Hefner worked at Dixieland Elementary School in the Madeira Unified School District as a part-time cafeteria and playground assistant, which I don't really know what that means. The investigation reportedly began after law enforcement received 2 separate cyber tips from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. On May 18th, 2026, the Central California Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force and Homeland Security Investigations executed a search warrant at a home in Madeira, California. Investigators say they recovered electronic devices containing child sexual abuse material, and Hefner was later arrested after authorities contacted him at the school where he worked. Officials say that all electronic devices were seized and the investigation is ongoing. And once again, as we say every single week during the segment, Mr. Mo, that guy looks pretty ugly, looks pretty old, definitely does not look 34. Does he look like a drag queen to you?
No, drag has standards. That's an art form.
Yeah, thank you. I completely agree. There is no, this man is not flawless in any way. I see plenty of flaws. Yeah, no, he is not working, girl. He is
Not only is he not a drag queen, he's also not a ballet dancer. He's not a gymnast. He's not remotely in shape, nor is he remotely attractive. He is what I would consider someone who grows out a neck beard and drinks PBR in their parents' basement and or attic.
He
That's the
probably
caliber of
goes to
person we're
work.
talking about.
He probably goes to work wearing those pajama jeans we were talking about.
Mhm. Mhm.
1,000%. 1,000%. I mean, I know hindsight is 2020 with the stories, but if there was a resting diddler face on a character, that guy would be it. Like, really, not a shocker at all. Not a shocker at all.
I feel like if you work with children, we should just start like I know this sounds invasive, but like at this point, if you work with kids, maybe they should just screen all your electronic devices. I mean, like, what are we doing about this?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing is, like, it's going to sound controversial for the conservatives in the country, but this is definitely like the party of Epstein these days, where
This is the party of
prosecuting-
pedophilia
yeah,
and
like
sexual
I
assault.
don't know if you saw Donald Trump's son, Don Jr., who was divorced, just got married again, and Trump very famously went golfing instead of going to the wedding. But what people are not talking about is who Donald Trump Jr. just married. He married the daughter of the guy that handled Jeffrey Epstein's fucking bank accounts.
Really?
That's who he married. And guess what? They got married in a private island because, of course. It's like, and then you look at this Ken Paxton guy that we reported on who won the primary nomination. Fucking that guy is the one accused of sitting down with a girl with a boner, and like, you know, it was I forget if it was like a family member. We reported on it a couple of weeks ago, but it's a
weird.
it's the party of diddlers. They're making it harder, actively harder for victims of sexual abuse and rape and pedophilia and stuff to get justice. Like, these people are going around in like local elections and putting things to make it actively harder for these victims to get justice and for crimes of rape and pedophilia to be prosecuted. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. So I don't know why this is where we're getting now. Like, the party of Epstein is Epsteining hard these last couple of years, but it's like out in the open. So I don't know, man. This is crazy. But anywho,
there is, I forget her name, but there is. Oh, let me find it. So there's a podcast I love that's called I've Had It podcast with two Southern women who are very liberal, very progressive, and it's so like it's just so rich to hear like some of the Southern accent like rip this administration apart. And they have a separate podcast called I Hip News, and they just recently interviewed someone. Oh yeah, Elon Musk's one of his baby mamas. So
Oh,
I guess she was kind of like groomed to be MAGA, but then she came to her senses and now she's fighting against MAGA. And she has a lot of like insider information. So her name, she used to be a former MAGA influencer. Her name is Ashley St. Clair. And she had a lot to say about Elon and like the right conservative side of politics. It's a great interview.
wow. I'll check it out. I shall check it out.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Anywho, what's on the
Yeah.
agenda for today?
Oh my lord! Today we have a great topic, and actually, I'm kind of glad Tom, even though it was a stupid question, Tom. They say there's no such thing as stupid questions. Yeah, prove them wrong, buddy.
Mhm.
It was still a good question because it sets us up for today's topic. Because today we're doing something special for all the people currently in relationships, or people who recently escaped one, or are actively ignoring 12 red flags because sex is good. We're going to count down. Maybe this will help you out, Tom. The top 10 best reasons to break up with someone. And listen, not every breakup has to be some dramatic cheating scandal involving screenshots in a group chat named Girlie's Emergency Meeting. Sometimes a relationship just dies. Sometimes someone lies constantly, or sometimes your significant other steals your debit card and buys vape cartridges at 2 a.m. Life happens. So, whether you're currently in love, emotionally hanging on by a thread, or one argument away from sleeping on your buddy's couch eating cold Dominoes, this list is for you. So, let's rock this. And I do have an honorable mention here that almost made the top 10, but it was very close. So we got some good ones. So I'm going to drop that one, and then we can get rocking. So this one is having a significant other that turns every argument into War 3. Like, you accidentally buy the wrong coffee creamer, and now somehow you're defending yourself like you're on trial at the Hague. If every disagreement becomes screaming insults or emotional hostage situation, that relationship will become exhausting very fast. And you can't live like that forever. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to feel nervous because they forgot to thaw the fucking chicken. And at some point, you realize you're rehearsing basic conversations in your car beforehand. Like, okay, if I mention the dishes calmly, maybe nobody throws a decorative pillow on my head tonight. You know what I mean? There's people who just love to argue, and that just having to argue for every single little thing will get very, very exhausting. So that is an honorable mention. And after that,
Can I add to that? I think that okay, so uh as a training manager at my job, I need to make sure that my new hires are in an environment where it's okay to make a mistake because I want them to try. And so like during training, I make sure the mistakes that they make won't impact a client's order. Do you know what I mean? But if I am going to like, well, when people make a mistake, the sheer shame associated with making a mistake is enough of a personal motivator to do the right thing in the future.
Right.
But if you overemphasize like how big of a mistake this is and how it really causes business problems, and you really make them um, eat shit, then they're not even going to attempt anymore. So I guess what I'm saying is, it's not just like at work or raising kids. It's also when you have a significant other and you blow things out of proportion, then they're just going to stop trying. I would.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's a good point. Very good point. Eventually, people will be broken down, and you don't want that, you know. So, all right. Why don't you start us off there in the top 10?
Well, my first one is pretty basic. It's just like if they're like super messy or bad hygiene, then if you were to like let's say live together at some point, you're not going to change them. Like your house is also going to be messy and gross. So like if
Totally.
people lack the self-respect, if they can't make their bed and put their clothes away before you come over, then like they don't respect themselves, they don't respect you. Get it together. That's just they weren't raised right, or they just have, I don't know, some little self-worth. I don't know, but like don't get involved in that.
See,
So that's
I can
grounds
deal
for
with
breakup.
messy, but dirty. Ooh, like Julie and I are both kind of messy people. But like for example, I'll do my laundry, and it'll be clean, but I'll put a bunch of it in the ottoman, and then I'll forget to put it away for like a couple of days. But it's all clean clothes. But then going on to dirty, like smelly underwear, people who don't bathe, don't brush your teeth, shit like that. Like that stuff. Woo! Not only is it stinky, and the obvious thing, but like you can get diseases. You know, I can't imagine what the sex life would be like. Can you imagine trying to go down on someone and it fucking smells like a sewer?
Ooh.
It has to affect every aspect of your life. You know what I mean? It's not just like even just the basic part of just stinky. It's like, imagine eating that person's booty if you're Dan Needed.
Ugh. I think holler. I think that if you're dating someone officially and you go to their apartment for the first time and their bathroom is so gross that you don't feel comfortable using it, like you have to cut your losses.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And here's the thing: I had a roommate, whose name I will not share, but he had hygiene issues, and luckily, at this time, I was still living in Baltimore, and we were in like the Parkville area, so we had a house, and there were a couple different bathrooms, and basically, the way the house was set up, it used to be a duplex. So it used to be like a 2-unit home where it was basically like 2 apartments, but then eventually someone bought it and just kept it as a house. So the upstairs basically was like its own apartment, had its own kitchen, 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. The downstairs had 3 bedrooms and a bathroom, or 2 bedrooms and a bathroom actually in the living room. And then the basement was like a carpeted room. So I turned that into a massive bedroom for me. And it had a little bathroom in there where it's just a toilet. So, you know, I could use that as my personal.
That's all I need.
Right. And then I could shower upstairs. But the guy with the hygiene issues was confined to the bathroom upstairs. That was the one for them. And they all complained. And the people that even lived before him had told me this about him, and I didn't believe him, about how he was so gross that, and his hygiene was so bad that when he would poop, and then he would stand up from the toilet, he didn't even notice this. He would leave like particles on the toilet seat. And if it was filled by a little poop just because he just wouldn't shower. So I guess he's all greasy and gross. And, you know, he would come from work all sweaty, would see and just change a shirt, his t-shirt into a dirty shirt that he doesn't even know if it's clean.
This is someone that I know.
You would have met him. I don't think that you're friends with him, but I'll tell you.
Well, I want to know after this recording so I can defriend and block him on Facebook.
And I went up there once because I needed to shower, and the shower that I would use in the downstairs bathroom is being used. So I was they're like, oh, use the upstairs. So I went up there to take a shower, and then I swear to God, I was like, well, man, I'll just go pee. I open the toilet seat, and I see the fucking seat. And there's like all this shit on there that I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, ew. So then I saw it for myself and I believed it. And he had a girlfriend for a long time. And it's like, I don't know how she dealt with that for all those years, but it's like bad, dude. Like
are they still together?
No, they're not together anymore.
I can tell you why.
Yeah, but you know it's bad when a group of dudes is like grossed out by you. Like guys especially in like college years, live in like the worst situations that are just barely better than jail. You know, like especially frat guys in college. For a frat guy to be too grossed out by living with you, that says something. So we can leave that there. But yeah, bad hygiene is definitely a good one. It's hard to teach old dogs new tricks with that too, and like it can really fuck you up. Last thing I'll say about it, like someone who, for example, who brushes their teeth but doesn't brush their tongue, the breath is like, like, you know,
yeah.
And a lot of people don't even do that for some reason. And I guess people don't teach them that. But
I will only eat garlic. The person I'm dating is also eating garlic. Otherwise, one time this guy put his tongue in my mouth. We were on a date. My boss set it up. He was pimping me out, and so this guy took me out to get burgers. He took me to a place for dollar burgers in Chicago, and which is actually a decent burger, especially for $1. But then like all the add-ons cost more. So if you want like bacon, like mushrooms, or like cheese, it adds up. But anyway, he had onions on his burger, and then I was like a mid chew, and he just planted one on me, and then he pulled back and was like, "How was that?" And I was like, I
Ugh.
mean, if you have to ask, I was
I
like,
was just about to say.
why did
If
you?
you had
Because
to
I
ask.
wasn't done chewing. I feel like I just got attacked. I was like, if you knew that
Yeah.
you're gonna do that, why'd you order onions? The fuck?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's really gross, actually. It's like, seriously? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. That's so bad. And it's like, I had a girl once who she reeked, like she tasted just like cigarettes. And this is weird because at the time I smoked cigarettes too. So like shouldn't have, but this girl tastes like a fucking ashtray. And I was like, good Lord, man. That's like, there's something about you literally like when you make out with someone, you taste the food they had, you taste everything. So like
Mhm.
someone with a horrible hygiene, and the human tongue is filthy, dude. Like, ugh.
Correct.
Anywho, on to my first one. This is one that I'm going to say it's not every single one that goes through this is doomed, but it's, with some people, the long distance thing is slowly dying. Again, not everybody, but at first it's cute. You FaceTime every night, you send selfies, surprise visits, but then suddenly you're arguing because they took 4 hours to text you back when they're at Buffalo Wild Wings in another time zone. You know what I mean? And some people, like I said, can survive long distance. Most people eventually, though, become emotionally sponsored by Uber Eats and loneliness. But it takes a very particular trusting person to make it through a long distance. So it's not easy. There are some challenges and there's a lot of loneliness. Eventually every conversation turns into "I miss you," followed by dead silence, while both of you stare at each other, buffering through bad airport Wi-Fi. And the jealousy can get very ridiculous. Suddenly you're investigating why there's a male laugh in the background, their Snapchat. You're like you're an FBI audio analyst. So if you are not a super trusting person, which note relationships are built on trust anyway, so that's going to be a red flag for you as far as dating. But if trust is tough for you, long distance is not the way to go. If you're very
Correct.
secure with yourself and you're trusting of your partner, then it can absolutely work. And in fact, it's kind of nice because then you conquer two areas of the world or the country, wherever you're at, and then eventually you can pick the better one or be bi-coastal, which would be fucking dope as well. So if you're made for it and you can have trust and faith that the other person's not fucking you over and you know that they're good, then it can really lead to something great and you can have your freedom, which is something that a lot of people don't get to do as long as you're not like out there cheating. You can go hang out with the boys, you can do whatever you want, or the girls, whatever you want, but the trust has to be there and you got to be a good communicator, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
But if you're not good, long distance will fuck you up. So if your significant other that you're not really sure about tells you, hey, I'm going to move to California, but you live in New York, and they're like, come with me, that might be, or if they say, you stay, we'll figure it out, that might just be the beginning of the end. So you might as well just pull the cord there. That's my advice.
Correct.
Mhm.
My pigeons just visited. They're so loud. Part of me wants to put like traps out there or like poison, but I'm not that person. But like,
And they're
they're
nice.
so loud.
Pigeons have a depressing story too, because pigeons used to be our messengers before phones became a thing. So they were actually domesticated, and then the phone became a thing, and pigeons were no longer needed to send messages anymore. So people just tossed their pigeons that were used to living at home into the streets, and then they became street birds. But it's like, if imagine one day we just like changed our mind about dogs and just dumped them all on the street. It's fucking depressing. So that's why pigeons are actually, I know that they're kind of gross, and if one tries to touch me, I'm going to run away. But they're actually very sweet and smart and caring creatures, and they remember people. And it's kind of like crows. Crows are fucking awesome, but so the one comes at you, it's going to be a little scary.
If you want to dump your dog in the street, I will take it.
Totally. And if you are one of those people that leaves your dog tied up to like a pole or something, like let me fucking tie you up to a pole, motherfucker, and come find
Yeah.
your ass. Because I keep seeing stories of like people doing the worst shit. It's like, what the fuck? But anyways, I want to gang.
I got a poll for you. Bend over and push your shit in.
That's
Bitch.
right.
You better not do that.
But anyways, what you got next, Mr. Mo?
Next, I think this is pretty much a no-brainer, but if I go on a date with someone and they're rude to the service industry in any capacity, there's not gonna be another date. And so like if you're
Right.
dating someone and they are mean to, it could be waiters, cashiers at like Walgreens, it could be if they're rude to your friends or family, or just random strangers in parking lots. I think that eventually that attitude comes back to you too. So no one wants to date someone whose whole personality is like leaving a negative Google review or like Yelp. Do people Yelp anymore? Is Yelp still a
Yeah,
thing?
I think people yelp. People yelp, but not as
So,
much. Definitely, I don't see Yelp as much.
but I feel like it's just I there's this patient at my job who came in one time and his wife was with him and he just snapped his fingers and pointed to the chair and told her to sit down. And she was like, okay. And I was like, I know all I need to know about this person. And I felt so bad for her. But I thought to myself, to be fair, there were red flags that she didn't acknowledge. But I'm sure there's red flags before I got to this point. You know what I mean? I thought,
Yeah.
oh, that's so sad. But like I think that if you're dating someone and this person screams at a 17-year-old Applebee's host because the mozzarella sticks took too long, just know that future arguments are going to be terrifying. One day they're yelling at a barista because I don't know, like oat milk costs extra, and the next thing you know, they're calling your grandma incompetent during Thanksgiving dinner. It's just not a good look.
You call this medium rare, Grandma? This is medium. Fuck!
Is this baked mac and cheese? It looks like shit soup. The fuck is this? Put a goddamn egg in it.
No wonder your husband left.
The earth.
It was suicide, Sharon. She hated you.
I don't know how he lasted so long. If this is what he was eating. God damn it.
63 years of hell being married to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. And it is my biggest red flag, especially having worked in the service industry as a waiter, as a cashier, as front of store. I have dealt with every kind of person that you can ever dream of. And if I see someone who just snaps at a server for no reason, and no, sometimes there are reasons to snap at servers. Like, for example, I remember my dad took me to this restaurant in DC where I ordered a burger and I asked for ketchup, and the fucking ketchup, it was 20 minutes ago and it hasn't shown up. 25 minutes ago and hasn't shown. And like the waiter keeps walking by. My dad keeps, hey man, don't forget the ketchup. Like my kids can't eat his burger without the ketchup, you know? And then eventually my dad had to like get mad at the guy and be like, dude, it's been 35 fucking minutes. Can you fucking remember the ketchup? Like it's not that hard. And then the server came in. It's like, here's the ketchup, but don't raise your voice at me, sir. And it's like, what do you want me to do? Like, I try asking nicely for 35 fucking minutes. Like, you were clearly in the wrong here. So there are
It's like acting. If the tactic does not help you to achieve your objective, you got to switch up the tactic.
It's a tactic and try being nice. And then, of course, as soon as he was a dick, you came with the ketchup right away. So maybe that's like the way to speak to you, dude. Like, what? But if this is, you asked for a regular Coke and the person gave you accidentally Diet Coke, it's like that's not a reason to fucking kill the kid. So there's very rare situations where there's a reason that you'll be right to scream at a waiter. For the most part, 99% of the times, it's the customer who's wrong, and the waiter has to just eat shit, saw it up, just go to the manager, and the manager will be like, don't worry, this person's a psychopath, but we'll give them a free dessert or some bullshit so you can shut them the fuck up. And then as soon as they leave, everybody talks shit about that couple. So, yeah, if you deal with someone, you're on a first date, and they're a dick to the server for no reason, run. Definitely run. And if you've gotten this so far that you're with them and you're dating them, and you and you're still doing this, what the fuck are you waiting for? Definitely run away because it's gonna escalate for sure.
Yeah.
It always does. These people, like, they don't just act like that outside, and that's where they leave it. Like, they will carry that shit wherever. So, anyways, on to my next one. Best reason to break up with someone: if they steal from you and they keep doing it.
Will they steal your
Even-
heart?
Now, ooh, I like that. That's a good
Will
one.
they steal your semen out of a condom and put it in a turkey baster?
The old "you're the daddy" prank. I love it. Not the mama.
I love that. Dinosaurs.
But no, when I say stealing, I'm not even saying cute stealing, not like I stole one of your hoodies or your hat type thing. That's adorable. We're talking literally like money disappearing, or borrowing your stuff without asking, or using your credit card, or eating your leftovers that you specifically labeled that they were goddamn yours and they were not to be fucking touched. You hear me, Joey? Anyways, if you have to hide your wallet from your significant other, that relationship has officially entered raccoon territory. Because imagine finding out your partner has been stealing your underwear and selling it online for beer money. Like, what are you even supposed to say during that conversation? Hey, babe, quick question. Why are my Spider-Man undies collection funding your Coors Light addiction? Yeah, kind of love those. At that point, you're not dating. You're living inside a very specific episode of Cops. All right, so you got to pull the cord, because it doesn't end. Someone who feels comfortable stealing from you is someone who's never going to stop doing it, and someone who sees you as their cash cow or expendable in some way. So yeah, like, it's not cute, dude. It's not cute. It's not. Oh, I borrowed $20. Here it is. It's another territory.
I dated someone maybe like 15 years ago who stole from me money. Like I was always misplacing my like transit card that like it was like prepaid, or like gift cards, you name it. So um I found out after the fact that this guy had a little bit of a pill problem. It was so bad that he actually got arrested for some things, and then left that relationship, and then shacked up with me. And I thought he was so cute, and I was like, I'm such a lucky guy. And so I overlooked a lot of nonsense. Like there were times that we would go to the grocery store together, and then it was time to pay. I'd be like, "Where do you go?" I'm like, "Well, okay, I guess I'll cover this. Maybe he'll get me next." And he'd be like, "I'll get you next time. Like we go to dinner. Like it's on me." But it was just weird. So anyway, I think that if you have an addiction that's so bad that you are stealing from your friends and loved ones to cater to this addiction, you can't kick it without medical assistance. If it's
Yeah.
that bad and that progressed, like you might need a treatment program. So for him to eventually, after I found out some things, to say like, well, that was old me. Like, well, how did you fix that? Did you just wake up one day and were like, I'm gonna stop stealing for drugs? No, it doesn't happen that way. Like you have to get medical assistance. So stealing could be um a klepto issue. It can also be like a a drug problem. It could be like a gambling problem, that they're managing their money bad. It could be a lot of like really scary underlining reasons. So like I agree. If they steal from you, you gotta keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
No
Absolutely.
excuses.
Absolutely. And I didn't even think about the bigger reasons like klepto and stuff. Yeah. You got to run though, for sure. Anyways, what you
Yeah.
got next, Mr. Mo?
Next, I have like what I consider to be like emotionally abusing or being emotionally abusive. So for example, like I think love bombing. Do you know what I mean when I say love bombing?
Yep. But explain it in case people don't.
So I think it generally refers to the period when someone displays like intense positive behaviors to attempt to like potentially undo the impacts of previous abusive behaviors. So let's say
Someone, exactly.
it's like if you're only getting flowers on the heels of a really ugly argument where they were like not nice,
Yeah.
or like if like my ex would send me flowers to my job. I'm like, I don't want that. I just want you to own what you did and just apologize and man up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally. And
Some
no, it's
people,
like a constant thing too. Like sometimes, it's something that starts early too, when it's like a long-term manipulation thing. Like within days of meeting you, they'll start dropping things. Oh my God, you're my soulmate. Or they'll start sending flowers to you, or sending you these lavish gifts that are like way too expensive. You know what I mean? But then it'll eventually grow. And just like they use gifts to soften you up, then they start testing the boundaries. So they'll start reacting super angrily, or there be like go into these rages, or they'll throw things, or they'll insult you, or they'll fucking call you a goddamn idiot and go crazy. And then all of a sudden, when it ends, they're like, "Oh no, I love you so much. I would never," and then they start the love bombing again. So then it drops your defenses, and you're like, eh. And then little do you know, you're being conditioned to then basically accept abuse, as long as there is then the love after. And then it's like, no, I would never hurt you. No, you can't leave me. Look how much I love you. It gets intense, dude. It can get really intense.
yeah, I think that if it's too good to be true, like
It
way
usually
too
is.
soon, then it is. It,
Yeah.
so I also think that survivors of emotionally abusive partners may feel like they they owe them, like their abuser or something. I know it sounds, I think people think when I say things, people are like, Chris is so sensitive. But I do think that like emotional abuse is abuse, whether it's, you don't have to like
Yeah.
smack someone across the face to be abusive. So like I think that um if a partner guilt trips you by saying like I've done so much for you and you can't even do this little thing for me, I think that's kind of a shitty thing to say, because they're probably ignoring all the things that you have done for them. So blame shifting can occur when the person actively abusing actively I'm sorry, blame shifting can occur when the person acting abusively makes you feel responsible for their behavior. So like
Mhm.
suggesting that you caused them to act the way that they did. So if I was like a really shitty person to you, Carlos, and then said, well, if only you didn't do XYZ, I wouldn't have acted a certain way. It might be such
Exactly.
a mundane thing. Let's
Totally.
say, you didn't put the seat down and Julie fell in the toilet. And then she uh takes a gun and shoots you in the dick. And
Okay.
that's really extreme. But
Right.
if she was emotionally abusive, she'd be like, "Well, you made me do this. If only you
Yeah.
didn't do this, I would have done
Totally.
that." But in
Totally. If you put the seat
actuality,
down.
she was wrong, and those are two isolated incidents. But like that's what emotionally abusive people do. Like every argument is gonna come back on you. Like you're at fault. It's exhausting. My ex
Totally.
would do that. But like, well, I only did this because you did that. Or he would say, well, I was drunk. Well, it doesn't give you a pass. That was still
Right.
mean, and so I still
Right.
deserve an apology, and I'm ready for it, you know?
Right. I completely agree. I completely agree. Yeah, and it's one of those things where, or the apology will always include a but. I'm so sorry I did this, but you did this, this, and this, and this, and this, and they
Yeah.
start bringing up. Then they start when you didn't do anything in the present, they'll start reaching from things from the past that have nothing to do with the argument, and then they'll start basically like just slinging shit to confuse the argument, to then eventually get you off their track. And people who do this kind of shit, they're really good at long term manipulating it. And you can really psychologically fuck a person up, man. Like it's crazy.
Hmm.
It is crazy. To where they accept the abuse, and again they think, oh, it's my fault. Maybe if I change my behavior, I do this, then he won't react that way. He won't have to react that way, or she won't have to react that way. Yeah, that's a good one. So if you're in this kind of relationship, no, there's always a way out. If you don't feel brave to get out of it yourself, call a friend, family member, someone who you feel safe with, and come help you pack and get the fuck out. But anyways, for the next one, this is one huge red flag. And again, This is why it's good to vet people that you start dating before you start dating them, because you have to
Mm-hmm.
know about things like this, and then you'll know if it's true or not. Because it's a good reason to break up with someone if they're a compulsive liar. Like, there's people who cannot help it. I have met these kind of people. I have been friends with them, unfortunately, for a while until I had to run away. Luckily, I've never dated one. I've been on the talking stages with one until I noticed it and I got the fuck out. But they cannot help but lie. Like, you ask what they had for lunch and somehow they lie about that, you know? Like, compulsive liars are also good at manipulating because they start making you question reality. They start gaslighting you. And then eventually you're like, am I crazy? And then no, it's usually just they're fucking liars. Like, well, who are you with? Where were you? All lies. Or there'll be lies about their past, like, and like maybe they'll claim that they were fantastic at sports when they actually were terrible, or that they were cool in high school when they were a fucking loser. These people build their their lives out of complete castles of lies, and
Yeah.
then you fall for it, and then eventually by the time you figure out, it's over. But once trust is gone in a relationship, every story basically starts sounding like a Netflix scam documentary. And the lies will get so unnecessary. Like, you'll catch them lying about stuff that genuinely does not matter. Like, did you take my charger? No. Meanwhile, the charger is like hanging out of their pocket like a fucking cartoon extension cord. You know what I mean? Did
Did
you eat
you
my
eat my
chocolate? Like,
brownie?
like chocolate all over the mouth. Like, dating a compulsive liar turns you into a fucking detective against your will. And let me tell you, relationships are already a lot of work. You shouldn't also have to fucking become a private investigator on top of it. Relationships will not always be easy. There will be the tough days, regardless of how perfect you are for each other. So if you have someone who you can't even trust what they had for dinner is not a lie, then you can't have a future with them, because how the fuck will you be able to trust them? Or like they say that they can afford rent, or trust into commitments like that. You simply can't. So yeah, if they're lying to you, get out.
Yeah. When people tell stories and give too much detail, I'm like, this is a
Yeah,
red flag.
yeah, absolutely. It reminds me, like, I'm actually watching. I've been watching Summer House with Julie, the seasons I never watched before. And there's this guy on it who I 1,000% think that he's in the closet. But he's like comes from like a super Christian Southern family, you know what I mean? Or from
Yep.
Alabama. So like he's like in the closet, ashamed of being gay, but he is clearly like super gay to the point where he makes up these stories about his sex life with women or girls that he hooked up with, and they're all like clearly lies. And one of the stories that he said came straight out of the 40-year-old virgin. Like, he said that he was hooking up with this girl after the first time they had sex, and then she started going down on him or something, and then accidentally went too far south, which then tickled him. So then he kicked her nose, and then she fell off the bed, had a broken nose. And that's literally a scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin when the girl licks his toe when he's like a teenager, and then kicks her in the face, and she has the broken nose and falls off the bed. So it's
Yep.
like the amount of detail is so insane that you just know it's bullshit.
When they're like, so the other day, Tuesday, oh no, maybe it was Monday. Definitely Monday at like 4, like 30-ish, and you're like, get to the point, what happened? You know what I mean? Like they get caught up in the minutia. It's like, come on, like
Totally. Totally.
making up as you go. I get it. You need attention. And then like, let's go join like an improv troupe. Okay. So my next one is being controlling or possessive. Have you ever had that before? When people are like,
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah. So I
Jealousy
think,
would usually drive that.
yeah, it's just not a good look, you know. So partners who engage in controlling behavior often seek to control like various aspects of your life. So this normally includes like monitoring your whereabouts, so demanding to know who you're with at all times. So it might be calling or texting or like FaceTiming you like throughout the day to confirm that you said you were where you to confirm you were where you said you were, and to confirm you were with who you said you're with. You know what I mean? Instead of just taking your word for it.
Yeah.
So they might even control like what clothes you wear, what you eat, who your friends are. Some people that I've heard have had their partners take their car keys to prevent them from leaving a situation. Um, I think making decisions for you without consulting you, or expect you to follow the orders as if you belong to them. Um, I feel like if I guess to sum it up, if you feel that your partner sees you as a possession rather than a person, I think that's like a really big red flag.
Totally.
Those partaking in abuse may accuse others of cheating or flirting with someone else, even if it's not true. So they may use jealousy as an excuse to go through like your phone, or read your diary, cut you off from like social connections.
Mhm.
And as a result, you might avoid engaging in healthy relationships with other people in your social network in an attempt to prevent their jealousy. Like, I want to
Yeah.
go out and have fun and go to the beach with my friends, but like my is really gonna upset my boyfriend, and I just rather avoid that argument. Like, that's sad, you
Totally.
know?
Totally.
Lastly, I think that sometimes emotional abuse can involve withholding affection, love, and connection as punishment or control. So an
True.
abusive partner may prevent you from having a healthy social or family life by refusing to allow you to visit or spend time with those that you love, or by becoming angry or upset with you when you do. So over time, this isolation can leave you feeling like you have no one to turn to, which might make it
Makes it
harder
harder
to
to leave.
leave the relationship.
Mhm.
Like my ex was for some reason jealous of my best friend and just refused to allow my best friend to ever visit. He's like, he can't come here. It's like, this is my best friend. I don't care. I'm like, but
Yeah.
why? And it was some stupid reason. He was like, because he was like, I don't like that he invited you and not me to an event. It's like, sorry, but like you weren't nice. I wouldn't invite you
Right.
either. So
And kind of thing too, though,
crazy.
what separates you from the best friend is the type of person that would tell you to watch out for certain red flags about this character. So you get rid of the best friend, then you get rid of that person who might help you see the light from the treatment that you're receiving by this character. You know what I mean? It's a way to completely isolate you. And like you said, you have no one to turn to except that person who's abusing you. They say, you leave me, you have nothing then. So where are you going to go? Like that's what they do
Totes.
to keep you.
If I knew then what I know now, I would trust my friends' opinions of my previous partners implicitly. So like I've had friends in the past say I'm not sure what I think of so and so, and I'd be like, oh my God, you don't know him. Like he's so sweet. And I would defend them. Um I had such intense loyalty, which was so stupid. So yeah, it is what it is. But I think that when people are like showing signs of like being a little possessive, it's not gonna go down a good path.
Yeah, and it'll always escalate too, is the thing, because eventually, like you mentioned, that people might try to do things to then appease the jealousy. Like, maybe I'll stop hanging out with the girls, I'll stop whatever. But here's the thing: you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So they'll eventually find just something else that you're doing that they'll use to manipulate you and withhold affection. So eventually, it's just going to be something else and something else and something else, and then it'll eventually be what you're reading, what you're watching on social media, the TV shows you watch. Oh, there's a shirtless guy. That's fucking offensive, and then literally like you're their hostage instead of their significant other. So in a
My
relationship,
ex,
it can feel like a hostage situation.
if someone walks past me, I'm like a cat. I'm always keeping like tabs on my surroundings. Like I'm always looking, make sure I'm, I guess, monitoring like who's around me. It's just a aspect of living in the city. I grew up in
Totally.
Baltimore City, lived in Chicago, and now live in New York. I'm always keeping tabs on where's my exit strategy,
Absolutely.
who's acting weird. You know what I mean?
And like at the subway, there's like the instances where people get pushed in by some
Oh my
random
gosh.
crazy. Like,
I'm
I always
always making sure that no one's walking behind me when a train approaches. So
yeah,
that being said, when my ex used to go out, if someone walked past me and I would just glance, it's not that I have a wandering eye and I'm looking at guys. Like I just I'm always just looking at everything,
Totally.
regardless
Totally.
of if I'm attracted to them or if they're my type. Like, I'm just always looking. And for one time, I went downstairs at this bar and I went to go break the seal. And sometimes when you break the seal, the pee might be a little bit longer than a
Yes.
conventional like piss.
Totally.
And also for me,
Woo!
if someone is near me, it's hard for me to pee. I need to have
I'm the
like
same way.
I have to
I'm not
concentrate.
good at it. Totally.
And
Totally.
so I went downstairs at this bar where the bathrooms were. It took me a little second to pee. Some other guy, some like weirdo dude came downstairs. And then when he finished, he went upstairs. And as soon as he walked out, like my body was like, okay, now you can pee. And so maybe I was downstairs for like 2 minutes. I come upstairs and then my ex accused me of hooking up with that guy. And he's like, you went downstairs together. I was like, what? I was like, who? And he pointed to the most grotesque person. No offense to that guy. He might be a nice person, but like the most grotesque. And I was like, you really think that I went down there and did things? First of all, like it's only 2 minutes. Like, what can you do
Yeah.
in 2 minutes? And do
Yeah.
you really think that if I, because my ex is attractive, like, do you really
Right.
think that I'm gonna like like downgrade? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
It
totally.
was so persistent that in my mind I was like, he has to be cheating. Like this is
Absolutely.
crazy. He has to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those insecurities
Projection.
come. Totally. Absolutely. Projection will do it 1,000%. 1,000%. So that's actually a great segue to the next one, because it might be a good reason to break up with someone if they cheat on you.
Yup.
Timeless, Hall of Fame breakup reason. Emotional cheating, physical cheating. It only happened once. We were on a break. Whatever excuse they pull out of the cheater starter pack. Once trust gets nuked, it's almost impossible to rebuild. Also, if they say it didn't mean anything, that somehow makes it worse. It's like you pulled that line out of your ass. And cheaters always get caught in the dumbest ways possible, too. Like, nobody's uncovering some genius criminal mastermind. It's always because they accidentally airplayed a suspicious text message onto the living room TV during movie night, like an absolute maniac, or they left their fucking social media up, or they made the person they're cheating with is like name on their phone mom or something, and then the text messages are getting very weird. They always get caught in the dumbest ways. And no, I can speak from experience. I got dumped once because I got really hammered in college during my final Tiger Fest, which was a big festival that.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember leaving any of those.
That's the thing. I went into the last thing I remember of that date, the whole entire day was I needed to throw up. So I went into a bar that we in the fraternity were frequenters of. I threw up, and that's the last thing I remember. Apparently, after that, I was wandering around the bar looking for my friend who I came there with, and some girl kissed me. I don't remember it at all. Like, I really, to this day, do not remember it. But my then girlfriend's friend at the time was at the bar, saw mid kiss, told my now ex, and then my then girlfriend dumped me at the next day. But I never remembered it. Don't feel very proud about it. Not great. But it's like literally got caught the dumbest way too. Some fucking I don't remember. Someone sees the kiss, texts her, and then it's over. 2-year relationship down the drain like that. And at the same time, I don't blame her, even though it's just a kiss. Like, it's not like I banged anyone or anything like that. That's that bad. I don't blame her because at the time I was still like drinking heavily. Like, she had no guarantee that I wasn't going to go out and black out and it wasn't going to happen again. And then how do you trust someone? As much as I hated it, it's like now if I say I'm going to quit drinking, I'm not going out anymore, then maybe I could have seen her being like, all right, it's not going to happen again. But I was my fault. I soiled the trust. And then afterwards, she couldn't look at me the same way again. And I get it. But for the most part, I'm a very good boy in my relationships. That's my black streak. And I have to blame college. It was my goodbye to college. So I went a little extra, but it's still my bad decision. However, for the most part, there are chronic cheaters out there who literally manipulate, lie, they gaslight, they do everything they can to continue the cheating. And even though you might catch them, unless you have it right, unless you walk in on them cheating, they'll find a way to talk themselves out of it. No, 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 you're crazy. You're imagining things. No, no, it's just a friend. I would never do that to you. And then comes the jealousy where, like Jasimo said, they start projecting on you. And then, because they're doing these things, they assume that maybe you are. And then they start going through your phone. They start fucking watching what you do or accusing you of cheating just to see what you'll say. You know what I mean? Like they'll say, "Oh, I heard that you got drunk and made out with some guy at the bar," just to see if they'll like confess to something. They'll start fishing.
Yeah.
It becomes fucking a whole game of manipulation. It all starts out of broken trust, is because if the trust is broken, it's hard to rebuild. So if someone's out there openly cheating on you, don't take that shit, ladies or gents. Move on. There's plenty of fish out in the sea and people that will love you and respect you for who you are. So get out
You
there and
know,
find that person.
my ex one time, um, he was, as soon as we broke up, already sleeping with someone regularly and dating and like vacationing, all these things. So he moved on within a day.
Right.
Good for him. He's allowed to. It's
Right.
hurtful from my perspective. I'm like, okay, like, wow, you really got over this fast, right? But he
Right.
denied everything, and he didn't have to tell me anything. But he was so inquisitive about like what I was doing, and I wasn't doing anything. I was just like keeping to myself. Like, I just need to process this. I need to do some therapy, and like I just want to focus on comedy and just like get through this period. So,
Totally.
um, one time at the bar, there's this drunk weirdo. It was his birthday, and he was like, "Give me a smooch, give me a smooch," and I was like, "No, Baron, I don't know you. Like, remember COVID?" So before I left, I literally just gave him a peck, no tongue, just a peck. I went, "Mwah, happy birthday. You get home safe." That was it. Nothing emotional, whatever. And so, someone saw something, whatever, and told him like Chris kissed him at the bar, and he was like, "Did you kiss him at the bar?" I was like, "Yeah," but it was like an innocent, like just a peck. There's no tongue, nothing, and he blew it out of proportion. I can't believe he did that. Like we just broke up, and I'm like, but you
You're
have
banging
someone,
someone. Yeah.
and he wouldn't acknowledge it, and so like he was trying to. I was like, I don't think it's a fair comparison. Like I didn't go on vacation with this person. Like I'm not sleeping at their house. Like it's literally just a stranger that I just was being polite. And I also told him, I was like, let me remind you that you did the same type of action to my father. So my ex got drunk one time and gave my father a peck on the mouth. And my dad was like,
Right.
tell him don't do that again. I don't like that.
Right.
So I was like, so it's okay for you to do that to my dad, but I can't do that to someone else. Like, what the fuck? But
Totally.
I think you're right. I think that like cheaters, and it wasn't even cheating because we were broke at that point, but I think that people do fish and they're like, well, you did this. And they tried to embellish something that maybe you've done or potentially have done so it can take away some of their personal guilt and their blame. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Anyway,
That's what they do. I mean, it really is. It's exactly, then they find ways to blame you. And it goes back to what you were saying before with the arguments. Then it's like, well, I wouldn't have done that if you hadn't done this. And then, it starts meshing up other reasons to break up with
correct.
them.
Well, my last one, I think is probably the most intense on my list. It's just when people have really bad tempers and could be potentially violent. Because I think that, like we mentioned it earlier, like for me, it indicates an inability to process frustration.
Yeah.
So it's signaling a fundamental lack of emotional control and a potential path to toxic or abusive behavior. Um, so I think that sometimes like unpredictable anger creates an environment where you're like constantly walking on eggshells to avoid triggering an outburst.
Yeah.
So in other words, that's just an erosion of safety. I think that sometimes instead of like resolving conflicts constructively, just sitting down and being like, this action made me feel some kind of way, and then let me own my part. I think that maybe what I did could have made you feel some sort of way. Like I'm apologizing for my part. Can you apologize for your part? Let's just move forward. Instead, a bad temper leads to aggressive communication and name calling, and maybe breaking things. That's just like a communication breakdown. I think that there's been research on destructive anger showing that mismanaged temper can easily cross the line from verbal or emotional hostility to like physical aggression. Like,
Mhm.
pushing leads to hitting, which leads to
Mhm.
like I don't know, really scary stuff. People who've been like murdered by their partners, I don't think that was like out of the blue. I think there's probably a lot of like science leading up to it. Like if they're beaten to a pulp, why wouldn't they strangle you to unconsciousness? You know what I mean? Like I don't not victim blame. I'm just saying like guys, like we need to be smart about this and like protect ourselves.
Well, it's the kind
And
of
then
thing where it's kind of like a serial killer, where at first it might feel good to just stalk someone, but eventually they don't get that thrill. So then they have to, maybe they kill an animal and they realize that doesn't do it. So then they start stalking, they start raping, and eventually raping doesn't do it. Eventually they kill. Eventually, even that will get old. So they have to find some other crazy way to get the rocks off. It's the same thing with the person who's physically abusive. The From what I've seen is they stop once they feel it's not excitement, but they feel like you've been punished enough. But it's once they feel a release that gets that aggression out, and then it becomes, the brain stabilizes, whatever. But at first, maybe pushing you, since that's the first time they've ever done anything like that, it might set that release, and then they snap back into reality and say, "Oh shit, I've done enough." But then eventually, maybe they'll pinch you, or they'll fucking smack you, or they'll start punching you. But then eventually, that release just won't come. So then they start fucking like really escalating, and then they
mhm.
start strangling, and then they start doing the things. So, like you said, these things don't just come out of nowhere for the most part. Of course, there are the exceptions to the rules of the dude who lived a normal life 30 years and then one day woke up and fucking shut up. These things happen. But again, there's usually a psychological reason behind
Yeah.
what we
But
don't
those
know.
like outliers, yeah. I think that
Exactly.
I think that sometimes if there's like frequent disproportionate outbursts, that can be a symptom or a sign of like unmanaged health conditions or like disorders. So like um I think that unfortunately in this day and age, we said it before, there's a like a mini clinic and a CVS like, urgent
Mhm.
care or whatever on every corner for physical ailments. But I do think there's a huge stigma still regarding like mental health. And I think that some
Mhm.
guys have this like machismo like idea of like, oh, it's effeminate to like talk about your feelings.
Totally.
Um, I do think that if we made it mandatory for kids in grade school to go through a psychiatric evaluation, then like the world would be a safer place.
I
I
agree.
think that when we hire people and we're doing drug tests and things to make sure that they're not like an addict with like a really bad habit, like why can't we make them do a psychiatric evaluation so that they're not gonna like potentially shoot up the office? You know what I mean? I still don't understand why we don't like if it like remember when we all had to get COVID vaccines to go to like a bar or like a venue of any sort? Like why don't we have something similar that says like, hey, here's my card
Well,
to show you that like I'm not crazy.
here's
You know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
Remember how half the country reacted when we had to get
Yeah.
those vaccines?
My
Imagine.
body, my choice.
Yeah, imagine. But it's funny. But when it comes to other things, they're like, no, not your body, not your choice. Uh,
Yeah.
but so that's the problem. And then you have things like, if these things are out in writing, then they're not going to be able to get guns as easily. Which then, even though it's a fucking joke to get a gun in this country these days, and some of these
Hmm.
states, but they'll start going at that angle, and people would never go for it, even though it would make the world a better place. They'll start being like, yeah, yeah, and they'll start crying and fucking making it a thing. So I never see it happening, but it should happen because it would be good to know, hey, little Jimmy here is displaying signs of psychosis, or he likes to hurt things. Maybe it would be easier to deal with when he's a 12-year-old child with some therapy, rather than when he's a 42-year-old man after he's killed 6 people. You know what I mean? It would be nice. But what do we know?
What do
uh
we know?
Anyways, on to the
This is the
final,
number one.
the number one note. Relationships are supposed to make your life better. Like, the reason why you decide, like, you see that boy or girl or everything in between, and you say, I want to be with this person, is that your life improves in some way. Maybe you get love and places where you haven't felt love before. Maybe you guys cook together, you clean together, you work out together, you grow together. That is the point of a relationship. So it might be a really good reason to break up with someone if they just make your life consistently worse. You know what I mean? This is why this is the ultimate reason. Like if being with someone destroys your peace, your confidence, your happiness, your mental health, your friendships, your finances, or your ability to enjoy life, then that relationship simply has to go. It's the ultimate red flag. A relationship should add to your life, not make you feel stressed every day like you're trapped in a group project with a fucking manipulative raccoon. All right. If every time your phone buzzes, you immediately feel anxiety instead of happiness, that's probably a sign that you're not with the right person. Like, you shouldn't feel like you're emotionally preparing for battle because your partner texted, "We need to talk at 11:48 at night." You know what I mean? Relationships are hard sometimes, sure, but they shouldn't feel like surviving a reality show challenge every single week. Like, ultimately, your life should be better by being in this relationship, because if it's worse, then why do it? It's not worth it. That is not why we jump into this crazy thing called love with people and decide to marry them and shit. Why are you going to be miserable? There's no point. There's no reason to. And again, there's plenty of fish out in the sea. So if the person that you're with right now doesn't make you happy, find someone who will. You know, there's no reason that says you have to be with someone. There's nothing that says that you have to date said person forever. Like if your life sucks because of this person, then it's time to either be alone or find the one that will make you happy. But
Yeah, I think it comes down to like self-esteem sometimes. That they just don't think that they deserve it.
totally, absolutely. And they think that if I'm not with this person, no one's gonna want me and I'll be alone. And it's like, guess what, man? There is a person out there for everybody. For
Well,
everybody.
if you triple trumped, if you voted for Trump 3 times, you don't deserve it. Sorry.
But
Sorry,
even those,
guys.
there's plenty of those fish out there in the sea for
Correct.
so they're fine. Or they just fucking try to hit up a 13-year-old at a Target parking lot, you know. But, you know. We'll report on those people next week and not the drag queens again. So but yes, if your life is not better off with a relationship, then just go back to being with the number one person in your life, yourself. So write that down, people. Tell a friend. And that has been our list.
That's a wrap.
Oh, yeah. So let us know what you thought of these reasons to break up with people. Are they good? Do you have better ones? Let us know. Choose an email, fratchatpodcast@gmail.com. Also, make sure you give us a follow on all social channels. FratChat Podcast on Instagram. That's on Threads, YouTube, Twitter/X. And make sure also when you if you have topic ideas or anything of the sort, shoot us an email about that too. FratChatPodcast@gmail.com. Anything you want to say. Any silly questions like Tom's, can I crack a joke to break up with my girlfriend? Anything. Send it our way. We might make fun of you. It'll be all in good fun. Also, make sure you give me a follow. Check out my website, carlosgarciacomedy.com. You can check me out on social at Carlos Does the World. That's on Instagram. That's on YouTube, TikTok, Threads. Carlos Does World on Twitter/X. And make sure you follow my good buddy CMO here at chris.moore.comedy on Instagram and TikTok, and CMoore Comedy on Twitter/X. And don't forget to hit subscribe, do a 5-star rating, and write a review. Find us on all the major podcast providers, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Go ahead and leave us that 5-star rating. Tell a friend. It really helps. So, on that note, Mr. Mo, it's time for us to go. So why don't you please get us out of here?
Well, I motioned to adjourn this meeting because I'm going to go blame my significant other for something that I probably did.
And I second. All right, you guys, we'll be back next week with another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts and time. It's the FratChat Podcast. I'll see ya. You have to say bye now.
Oh, bye. Yes. Bye.